Carolina came into SEC play kind of on the rough side of their non-con schedule, but they won 2 in a row. Just what have you seen from them?
Well, if you watch their games, now they've had guys injured, guys in and out. But if you watch how they play, they're always going to play tough. They always play hard. They're aggressive. They're active. Chris Severs obviously played well in the last 2 games. I think he's the key to everything they do. Even though they have guards, young, talented guards, experienced guards, but he's the guy that I think makes them go. And when he's going at a higher level, when he's on the floor and he's effective, everything else falls in line for us. The big guys are active. They're able to drive the ball. They wreak havoc. They offensive rebound. And you watch the Florida game, they stayed in the game. They stayed in the game. Mississippi State game went back and forth. They made plays down the stretch to win the game. So not surprised at all. Again, that's a team that, 2 or 3 years ago was a Final Four team.
This place you got your first SEC road win last year. Obviously, you guys haven't been on like a true road game in a while. Is this that experience that you think can help this group going forward this year?
I think for guys that are returning, but I think it's still new when you have true freshmen. The guys hadn't been in that environment. And they'll have a good environment. A Saturday game, coming off 2 good wins, and we expect that. But again, for us, it's just going through it. And I said all the time, taking care of the ball offensively, execute what we're trying to do, and learn from the last game and move forward. Meaning the last game here and move forward. Yeah.
Good coaches maximize the talent they have on their roster. What does Frank Martin do to do that with his guys?
I just think he get his guys to play a certain way, again, because they play hard now. They're active. Even when you have new guys, he got a young kid, Brian, a 6'7" kid, who's starting for him, is playing really well for him now. A lot of people probably would have thought he'd play at the level he's playing right now. I just think more than anything, Frank pours into his guys to get them to understand to compete and play hard, what it means to be a part of a team. And I think the biggest thing is how hard they work. And I think when you see Siva as a senior, Chris playing as hard as he plays, and other guys kind of fall in line.
Against Tennessee, you guys had a pretty good first 12 minutes, and then how do you carry that into a full 40?
Oh, you just do it. I mean, you give them credit as an experienced team who played hard, played well. When you got experienced guards, and I think the thing that you take for granted for them was Lamonte Turner returning the game, made big shots, pushes the ball in transition. So now he and Bone, 2 very effective guards who battle tested, been in that program for a long time, and they just played well. And I thought we did a solid job against Grant, but I just think that shows the experience of a team. And when you're coming off winning a championship in a conference, and you pretty much got everybody returning, your mission is different. You've been in road environments, so now you're trying to be the best team in the country, which they're one of those teams. I think it was a great experience for our guys to learn from a team with that level of experience, and hopefully we can move forward from it.
South Carolina has obviously some pretty physical bigs, especially you mentioned Silva. Do you tell Jeremiah anything, and just kind of in preparation for that kind of physical matchup?
Not what I normally tell them, and I don't worry about the physical part. We okay with physical. I mean, just the experience and what we do as a team. Younger guys continue to grow and get older in these type of environments. Not at all. I mean, Jeremiah's never backed down from a challenge, and it is what it is with Jeremiah. He has to be effective. He has to play the way he play. Hopefully not get in foul trouble so he can be a factor in what we're trying to do, because, again, we're a different team when he's not on the floor. And it's just one thing to be in foul trouble, but there has to be a level of consistency with him so we can count on him.
You guys lost the rebounding battle against Tennessee by, I think, 9 or something like that. Was that a product of just Jeremiah being out?
No, I think that was a product of Kyle Alexander playing extremely hard and rebounding the ball. And then you watch it on film, we didn't do a great job of driving him back. Now, the other guys got some rebounds, but I thought he was a major contributor in what they were doing as far as getting offensive rebounds.
In terms of projections, South Carolina was, I don't think, predicted to start this well in SEC play. You think that's an example of how deep the conference is, or maybe just it's not as top-heavy as people thought it was coming in?
Well, I think it's a good conference. I mean, you're talking about a team 2 or 3 years ago was a Final Four team. It's not as if Frank just took over the program last week, so he's been there. So guys understand there's a blueprint in what they do and how they play. The league understands that. And then what happens when you play in league, what happens on the surface, everybody's scheduled differently in preseason games, so you never know how things will turn out. Once you get in conference play, you're familiar. Guys, I know my opponents. I know, and sometimes as long as I've been playing games in conferences, sometimes you just match up better with certain opponents. And it seems because they played well against Florida. They had a good home win against Mississippi State. And again, from a physical standpoint and playing hard, South Carolina always has that. So now they're making shots and doing other things, and they're just as good as anybody.
KJ said he didn't think he was going to play 26 minutes. You plan on maybe not playing him 26 minutes a game, but getting him involved a little bit more now that he's getting used to it?
Well, I've always, if you're healthy, you play the game. Now, if you're exhausted in the game, we'll take you out of a game. But I think some of that had to do with Jeremiah not being on the floor, so you need another body. But I don't go into a game unless a doctor or trainer says this guy can only play this many minutes. We're just playing the game. We play as hard as we can play.
Can he be a piece you use in the front court when Jeremiah's in foul trouble like that? Or do you
Well,
see
I think
him as
he'd be a
perimeter?
piece regardless. I mean, that's why we got him on our program from a scholarship standpoint, so he can be a piece.
Well, I guess do you see him as like an interior guy when Jeremiah?
I think he's more of a basketball player. I think he can go inside, outside. He can make plays off the dribble. He can make a three-point shot. I think he can do both. Yeah.
Ben Hallen said that Coach Sarr really killed him the other night. I mean, he's a rugged player, isn't he? Does he present a lot of challenges?
He is. And the
for
one
you?
thing about him, I think he was out for a while, so he came back. He played well for him, played hard. I think he's like 3 for 5 from three, so he doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but he does a good job as a left-hand driver, attacking the rim at 265, so he's mobile for a big guy. And I think he helps Chris Silver from the standpoint of when he's post, he can drive the ball, make the next play. So I think they complement each other. Now when Chris is out of the game, he plays a 5, and he's a mobile 5. Though he's more of a left-handed driver, he can get downhill off the dribble.
South Carolina, I think, has had half the roster miss 4 games or more because of injuries or different things. You've started the same lineup this whole season. Different ways of doing things, different situations. Do you see a benefit to one over the other, or?
I don't. I like to think if they were healthy from start to finish, they probably have. For most teams, you have the same guys, most coaches. But in our case, we've been healthy. The continuity's been good. So I don't see you changing. Not to say you would never change it, but I don't see right now it changing. But I think it's whatever your style is. I've seen coaches that had high level of success starting different lineups after 2 or 3 wins just because they feel like the matchup might be better. So it's just the confidence within your team and what you feel is best.
You feel like the starting lineup you have is flexible to meet and the matchups around the SEC and around non-con play?
Oh, yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. I just think, again, and not to say Jeremiah's the reason why you win or lose games, but I just think it's as if you take Geis out of the game. You take Kevin out of the game. When you count on certain guys' production, you expect it to be that. And I just think we have to get the level of consistency with Jeremiah because we count on his production.
You mentioned how hard it is to win on the road. I guess what do you learn from your team on their first conference road test?
Well, I think the biggest key, of course, you have to be talented enough to win on the road. And I think the other part is taking care of the basketball, being efficient. Even if you turn the ball over, you don't want live ball turnovers where they're going down scoring the ball. So you have to be sound in your decision. You have to be able to handle, the atmosphere, especially with new guys hadn't been in. Whatever the atmosphere is early, execute the ball, strong with your catches, triple threat with the ball, make direct passes. You guys got to catch passes. All these little things. When I throw you the pass, you got to receive it with 2 hands, triple threat, all the stuff you taught as a young guy. And then I've always felt out to the first 5 or 10 minutes, the game flows from that standpoint. It's just more of a feel. Everybody's relaxed, you can play. But I just think for us, we talk about those first 5 or 10 minutes being sound, being aggressive, reading the defense, because you kind of dictate how they play. Because they do a scout report, so first 5 minutes will tell you how they'll defend us in certain actions. So we try certain things early to see how they guard certain things. And we feel like, because we watch film as well, and we take advantage of how they defend certain actions. Thank you.